What's up, you guys? Welcome to the January 19th edition of NBA 3-Ball, presented by Established to Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher, getting ready to talk one bit of NBA news and a lot of basketball on MLK Day. Hope you enjoyed it. Can do it 10 minutes. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you are not. And let's just talk briefly about Lonzo Ball. He is expected to play, but interestingly, he said he was playing through pain with both of his knees. And the management actually stepped in to keep him off the court. Thought that was interesting. Just a reminder, he had a knee surgery back in 2018. Also had a left knee issue back in 2017-18. And then he also hurt it again. So that left knee is something to watch. It's both knees again, so we'll see if that lasts. But be careful about Lonzo going forward. He may have some maintenance on him with his history and. Playing through pain is a really scary sign for a young guard. Let's talk some basketball with the big slate, starting with the Magic. Highlights here: Aaron Gordon, 9 minutes at the point guard spot, up to 16 minutes at the point guard spot on the season. It's 16, 12, and 18 assists per 36. Small sample, but really impressive stuff. Cole Anthony's been terrible. Clifford said he wants to get Vooch the ball in the post more, and he did just that. Vooch and Aaron Gordon are just going to carry this team offensively, especially with both of those guys getting big minutes. Knicks pull off a back-to-back sweep for the first time in 40 games. Craziness. Thibodeau said he loved how his team started in the back-to-back. Said again, conditioning is really the key to closing out games. And he said that RJ Barrett is being able to do a little bit more on offense with driving, kept playing off ball. So Barrett had a pretty good game offensively and rebounding the ball as well. Rough game for Emmanuel quickly. Had a couple of mistakes on just missing reads and a couple bad shots, forcing shots. That's fine. He'll definitely be better in the next one. Elfrid Payton had probably one of his best games of the year. Revenge game for him. And Julius Randle's tough game against Aaron Gordon defensively, but still, he's hustling and the conditioning is up. He's going to get playing time. Moving to the Wolves in a 3-ball favorite, Jared Vanderbilt got the start at power forward with Juancho Hernangomez out. After the game, Ryan Saunders said he liked how he moved his feet against smalls, including Trae Young. I thought he defended Trae Young really well. And he said rebounding's in his DNA. Saunders also said rebounding has really been the biggest issue. Even with he says their team's still playing hard. He liked what he saw in McDaniels, and also the Okogie's minutes got cut late because Trae was in foul trouble. They were trying to match his minutes, and also he liked what he saw out of Anthony Edwards. So his minutes are going to start to come up, I think, now too. Hawks didn't have Cam Reddish. Small surprise after they downplayed the injury over the weekend, but big game from DeAndre Hunter. Got to the line 7 times. Lloyd Pierce said he really liked that. Liked how his game has just been really steady, getting to the line more. And the most impressive part of his game, he said, has been attacking. So Hunter, who was not an offensive guy, has suddenly come on. Also, Clint Capella, Pierce said he was, quote, our guy in the big win. He called Hunter and Capella the anchors of the defense. I mean, those two guys are starting to play really well. Capella, 39 minutes, has just been, clogging it down. Obviously, major injury risk if he's playing at that volume, but no denying from game to game he could have a big night. Trae Young got defended pretty well. Got to the line, that was big. And the stats are just there for him as he just runs this offense in limited playing time with foul trouble. Moving to the Blazers, they dropped this one to the Spurs. Probably the big surprise of the day was Rodney Hood getting the start, playing 25 minutes after the game. Terry Stotts said that Hood had an 18-minute cap, but they thought he looked great, and they cut the minute limit. They let him go up to 25. Shocking for a Blazers team that's usually pretty strict on that. But yeah, he said it was 3 reasons why. He said he liked him with the starters. He liked Gary Trent off the bench. He used him kind of filling in. And he liked Anthony Simons behind Dame as the backup point guard. So it sounds like it's going to stick. Rodney Hood, not the best permanent guy. Really shot hot early, so a little misleading. But yeah, I mean, big minutes all around for Covington, Derrick Jones Jr., Carmelo Anthony. And they closed with Robert Covington at the 5 because of the matchup, because LaMarcus was shooting a lot of jumpers on them. But they're going to do that a lot. But Cantor continues to play pretty well. While Giles has been kind of off and on, certainly not a guy you need to hold if you need to make a move for someone like Vanderbilt. Big win from the Spurs as the veterans really stepped up. LaMarcus, I mentioned earlier, had a lot of shots early in the game to get him going. Patty Mills off the bench. Rudy Gay was hot. I believe Keldon Johnson was going to come back in, but I think they pulled him back because Gay was just stroking threes. So big win from the vets. Rough game for Lonnie Walker, which gave Devin Vassell a little bit more playing time, so I wouldn't read too much into that, despite the pretty good line from Vassell in the spot. And Jakob Poeltl, 6 offensive rebounds, was big time in this game, and that was what really made Terry Stotts a bit upset, probably more than anything else. And DeJounte for triple-double. I mean, DeJounte continues to produce. DeMar is money, and Pop credited DeMar for playing with tough times with his family stuff, so all the best to DeMar. To the Suns, Monty Williams does make his first lineup switch of the season with Cam Johnson in, Jay Crowder out. Interestingly, came against a big Memphis front court, so that tells you that they're probably going to do this again. For them to pull the trigger after the timeout, they want to get this going, so expect Cam to start again. Probably be pretty close to a 50-50 split with those two, with a little bit of Mikal's minutes thrown in there. But the highlight here was DeAndre Ayton was really aggressive down low, used his body, got inside. This is what they need. They need him to be this guy. And if Cam Johnson starting opens up the floor more, then they got to start him because they need Ayton to be good. And he was. Devin Booker, rough game. Been too hit or miss, man. It's been the thing. He hasn't been able to really string together big offensive games. Not getting to the line against Dillon Brooks, I mean, that's almost inexcusable to me. Big win for the Grizzlies as they go small late. They put Tyus Jones with some overlap, but John Moran also had Grayson Allen guarding Devin Booker. Jenkins said he liked how he defended him. And Tyus hit some big shots. This has been key. We haven't really seen much Tyus Jones overlap with John Morant, so if that continues, it may be something to look at because Jenkins said that it was, quote, to release pressure from Ja because they were really attacking him with basically trying to take the ball out of his hands, so giving more ball handlers out there, gave them more options to score and get better looks, which worked out. I mean, great call for Taylor Jenkins is a good coach, despite how we wanted to play other guys sometimes. Brandon Clark has been really locked in, getting big paint touches, running the floor extremely well. Maybe he was a little injured to start the season with a slow start, but he looks great. Xavier Tillman got the start, fared really well. He makes really smart plays, huge body down there, really skilled as a big man. Should lock it down. Gorgie Jang had a little bit of an impact off the bench, but certainly Xavier Tillman looks like the man right now as we wait for Jonas Valanciunas to get back on the court. Moving to the Bucks, and what a great game this was as the Nets squeak it out 125-123. Offensive, just masterpiece. And the number that stands out here is Giannis, 40 minutes. First time he's played 40 minutes in a regulation game since January 5th, 2018. Quite long ago. Craziness. I also did it in the playoffs in 2019 too, but that's crazy. We've seen Bud go a little bit deeper, and that's a big story to keep in mind when Giannis plays against these good teams. His minutes have a little bit longer leash. Same with Middleton, Drew. Also, it's a new day in the rap game. Budenholzer will play guys longer minutes. That's really the big takeaway. Harden and Durant just nuts. 125-123 win over the Bucks. They scored 30 each again. They're the first teammates ever to score 30-plus points in each of their first two games together with the franchise per Elias. It's just ridiculous. They're going to be great. Like we said, I think those two guys are going to be upper 20s usage even when Kyrie comes in, and they're still going to be able to flirt with upper 20s scoring and just so many other statistics, which is why Harden in the last 3 or 4 years, he's been the best player in fantasy. And then the whole decade, I think Kevin Durant's been the best player in fantasy because he does so many different things in the stat sheet. These guys are going to produce, and they're playing huge minutes on a team that's going to give up a lot of points too, so they'll be fine. DeAndre Jordan stunningly played 38 minutes. Got to think it was because of the matchup against the Bucks and how they like to drive with Giannis and all that stuff. So if you could trade him somehow, do it. Mavs got smacked in a back-to-back, not really surprising, but KP did play 32 minutes in a back-to-back. That's great for him. Jalen Brunson back, looked pretty comfortable out there. Josh Richardson is out of quarantine. He's back home in Dallas. Doesn't have a timetable return, but hopefully it's going to be later this week. And we saw James Johnson, his first half minutes at center as they went smaller when the Raptors went a little bit smaller too. Raptors get the win. Chris Boucher went off again, 21-10, 3 blocks. Guy's just going off every night. Who cares that Aaron Baines starts? Doesn't matter. Actually played the third quarter, Aaron Baines did. But Norm Powell's finally coming together. Siakam has kind of turned it on, had a better second half. OG's playing really well. Bad game from FEV, but don't worry about him. And Lowry's turning it on too. It's all coming together. Hannibal Smith style. Love it when a plan comes together for the Raptors. Moving to the Rockets, Victor Oladipo's debut went great statistically. 32-9 assists. He and Christian Wood had it going. A lot of screen game for Victor Oladipo. Forces a lot of shots. Took a lot of shots. He's going to beast it while John Wall's out. Eric Gordon got the full green light. Had been doing stuff in practice coming into today. He got unleashed. Obviously, Christian Wood just goes off every night now, it feels like. And Jason Tate closed. Concerning for DeMarcus Cousins with how much Jason Tate's playing. And it's hard to even knock cutting Cousins right now. He's been just horrible. Moving to the Bulls, big win from them. Zach LaVine continues to crush and pick and roll. Rockets are an exploitable matchup for pick and roll heavy guards. Kobe White, a little bit of a slump. I'm a little bit concerned because Zach LaVine's been so good and really can't take the ball out of his hands. We did not see Patrick Williams in this one. Lauri Markkanen, full on, ready to go here. big shots. He's starting to come around. Wendell Carter Jr. still a little hit and miss, but yeah, still good. That's going to do it. Got a solo pod coming out later today, so check back for that. Catch you guys next time.